request.
Yeah. Okay, we got it. All
Okay.
right. Good morning, John Jay. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. So we have some things to chat about today. How do you feel? How do you feel going into our little meeting here?
I feel positive. I'm not a
Okay.
meetings kind of person, but I'll do my best.
Okay. Well, I'm here to help walk you through the whole process. I know sometimes it's a little overwhelming, but I'm just pretty excited that you're even here with me right now. Um, so getting into this, tell me why you're here to start with.
Well, I'm here at the request of my wife, and I want to make her happy. So, but I'm here to talk about me not working and smoking and just a couple of other things.
Okay. So where would you like to start? Do you want to start with the employment portion or the smoking? Where are you at today?
We could start with the employment.
Okay. So you want to tell me what happened? So from what I gather here, just tell you what I know, and then you can kind of lead me down the path. You've been employed with an IT position
Correct.
for how long have you been there? Or had you been
Um,
there?
I was there about a year and a half.
Okay. And what led to your dismissal?
Tardiness, I was late all the time. Sometimes I didn't show up for work.
Okay.
Um, yeah, no
Okay.
call, no show, kind of.
Okay, what would be like on the days that you would be running late? What did that look like? Can you kind of map that out for me?
Well, I set my alarm. My alarm did go off, and I pressed the snooze button multiple times, to the point where I turned it off and then I just fell back asleep.
Okay.
So I just wasn't motivated to go to work, and I just stayed home that day. One time I did the same thing and with the snooze button on the phone, and I was just late, and I came
Okay.
in late to work.
Okay. And what did it look like on the days that you weren't able to show up for work?
I was just tired,
Okay.
a little depressed, but I was tired, and I just didn't have motivation to work,
Okay.
to go to
Well,
work. Yeah.
sometimes that snooze button is kind of easy to push when
Yeah.
we especially when we wake up with our cell phones. So on the days that you eventually would go into work, on those days that you were a little bit late to work, what got you going to stay motivated to get to the office?
Well, the IT work that I do, it's challenging, but it's also fulfilling in the same way. So once I started working, I would get into the groove of things, and it kind of made the day go faster. So that motivated me to just do my best and work harder and work more.
Okay. So on the days, John, that you said that you're kind of tired and not wanting to go in, how would you characterize like you as a physical person? Are you relatively healthy kind of guy? Do you have health issues?
I'm pretty healthy. I'm
Okay.
33, so I'm pretty healthy. Um, I smoke a lot, but I play video games. So I find myself playing video games till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I try to go to bed, and I can't get up, or I don't
Okay.
get up.
Okay. What kind of physical activity are you involved in?
Um, just playing video games. I
Okay.
don't exercise. I don't go for walks.
Okay.
I just sit and play video games.
Okay. Do you think like with the physical part, is that something that you'd like to see change, or are you kind of content with your physical being?
Well, I'd like to see that change. I'd like to get out, move about, walk around some, maybe, go for walks that are healthy, productive. My wife is always encouraging me to get out of the house and not just sit on the couch, and just play games or watch TV. Which is what I do a lot of. But
Okay.
yeah, I'd like to try to get out of the house.
Okay, so on the intake forms that we have here, it states that you've been married for a couple years now, and you do seem to talk pretty highly about your wife and her encouragement, which is really great. No children. So can you tell me a little bit about your upbringing, your family life before marriage?
Well, my family life, was my mom and dad, and myself, and I had a pretty decent childhood.
Okay,
Um, I played baseball, basketball, sports, different things. I went through high school, went on to college, and I was pretty well rounded. They tried to give a stable upbringing.
okay. So what kind of influence do you think you would say that your parents had on you?
To get out and work. My dad was a go-getter. He worked two jobs. My mom worked one job, and then of course, she tended to me. If we needed extra money, my father's other income would help us out. So I see him, I saw my parents work and make ends meet and just be productive.
So would you say it's pretty fair to say that they are a positive influence on your work ethic and kind of your upbringing as an adult?
Yeah, they are a positive influence. I just haven't followed that path yet
Okay.
of,
So, and do your parents, are they aware of your current situation with
yes,
the employment? Okay.
yes.
What do they have to say about it?
My dad is upset because he feels that, this is not how I was brought up. I was brought up to take care of my family, even if it's, though it's just myself and my wife, she's still my family, and be a provider. And I'm not doing that. So I think it's a big disappointment for him. And my mom would like to see grandkids one day. And how can that be if I don't have a job?
Okay, so what you're what you're saying to me is, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you may be feeling a little bit of pressure because of the standards set by your family and maybe some expectations?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Um, who is the primary breadwinner in the home as far as providing for for you and your wife?
My wife.
Okay. And what kind of work does your wife do?
Um, she is she's a nurse.
Oh, cool. All
Yeah.
right. So that might come with its own pressures too, right?
Yes, it
Yeah, I
does.
bet.
Yeah, she has a lot
Well,
of on her plate.
so let's get back to the troubles of, kind of staying up a little bit late and finding that motivation to get to work. Would you classify that as more of a, I'm tired and I'm not feeling like going to work, or what is it more of a pressure coming down on you to get out the door and prepare yourself for your work day?
I feel it's more I'm tired because I've
Okay.
stayed up so long and I'm, doing whatever I'm doing, whether it's watching a movie or again the video games. Um, then I lay down and I don't want to get up because then my body's tired. So
Okay.
when my alarm goes off, we're talking about maybe 3 hours. I don't have a lot of time to sleep and I have to get up and do a full 8 hours of work. I don't feel like it.
Okay. All right, John. So I'm going to have you dig a little deeper maybe in the past and figure out when these symptoms started to occur, because what it's sounding like to me what you're saying is it hasn't always been like late nights with video games and being tired, and not feeling that motivation. If we go
Mhm.
back a little bit, are you able to kind of come up with some sort of a time frame where this all began?
I think it began after I got married.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, so
So,
tell me a little bit about that, about
so,
being married.
mhm. Oh, after I got married, everything was fine. I was, doing my routine, getting up, going to work. We were, she was going to work, I was going to work. Um, I am into IT, so I am into like, computers, things like that.
Mhm.
I just got hooked on, video games, which I did like to play in the past, but There were some games that came out, and just dealing with a couple of friends, I just really started jumping back into that.
Okay.
So my wife wasn't upset about that at first, but then she's like, "Oh, you spend a lot of time on the video games, maybe, I don't know, come shopping with her for groceries, things like that." And my priority was video games.
Okay.
So,
So my
yeah.
history with video games and my knowledge of video game life kind of stuff, is there chat rooms? Is that accurate in you where you're at?
Yes.
Okay. All
Yes.
right, cool. So um are there, like, what does that look like in your chat rooms and things like that?
So some of the chat rooms, some of the guys there, they don't work.
Okay.
Um, they play video games, but then some of them have podcasts. They have other things that can earn them income. Mine is just playing video games with them and, multiplayer games, of course. So, I could be this person, they'll be somebody else, and, we're just going back and forth and just talking, having a great time.
Okay, so as far like, so that's kind of your social group?
Yes, that's my
Okay, so
social group.
outside of the video game relationships, and socializing, what else are outside of the videos, what else are you doing to socialize? Or is that kind of your main social
Well, that's my
interaction?
main point of contact for socializing,
Okay,
but I do talk to my wife, but there's
okay,
times when I'm not going to say she gets on my nerves because I know where she's coming from, but she can be a little nagging because she wants me to get up, update my resume and get a job.
okay, okay. So it sounds like, and again, John, correct me if I'm wrong, that you're going into the video games as your friend group to socialize and kind of,
Yes.
and again, this is kind of a steep step, maybe putting off what you need to do
My
as far as
responsibility.
updating
Yeah.
resume and finding, okay. And I'm
Right.
not trying to push those things on you, but how is your wife reacting to that, with you, the concentration being your social activity online versus hanging out and spending time with her as a family?
I think she's over it. She's tired of
Okay.
talking to me about it.
Yeah.
Because it does not, I guess she feels it's not going anywhere. I
Okay.
hear what she's saying, but then she'll look up and I'm on the phone with the guys just having man time,
Yeah.
so to speak.
So how interested are you in um changing that part and maybe bringing some things into, are you in a position where you're ready to modify your gaming time and those things to put towards an effort to maybe balance things out a little bit?
Yes, with small steps, I would like to um cut down on, my game time. So you
Okay.
spend more time with my wife, um, do some things with her.
Yeah.
And the guys will have to understand, because out of my social group, I'm the only one that's married.
Right.
So,
Okay, and I think that's something for you to think about too, especially, if these are people of a certain age, your age group, and the common things. Of course, we can have things in common with people, not everything all at once, but just to kind of see how that weighs out. We're running low on time, John, so I'd like to hook
okay.
up with you again, maybe next week, to continue this, to figure out um, how and how to help you navigate through things, to balance out that gaming time and time with your family, as well as what kind of ideas you're coming up with to
Okay.
help yourself pull yourself out of the tiredness, and maybe figure out how we're going to do those things. So that'll be a little bit of homework for you, to figure out some things, dig into your hobby case, and figure out what used to spark you before the video games and things like that occurred. How does that
Okay.
sound?
That sounds great. I
All
will
right, cool.
definitely
Well,
try.
all right. Well, so you have some homework, and we'll see you next week.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks, John.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.